Hello and welcome to Life with Francie podcast. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Jane, a self-love coach. Her mission is to help women find their inner light, love, happiness, and strength. I absolutely love all of this. So let's get this show started. Welcome, Jane, to my show. So tell me, what is Life with Jane all about right now?
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited. We're just laughing off air saying that it's like I'm ending my day and you starting yours, which I think is always it's wild thinking about living on the other side of the world and actually talking to people. I think it's one thing seeing it on social media and knowing that someone else lives across there, but actually speaking to someone live like this, it just reminds us how big the world actually is, but how small it is to actually connect with each other, which I love. So I live in South Africa. For those of you who don't recognize this accent, you might think I'm Australian or from New Zealand, which I get a lot. But I live in tiny little South Africa, down in Africa. I've always been a very sporty person, very outgoing. As you can see, if you're watching the video, my hair is pinky purple. And yeah, I've always been very into helping women. So I've always been a personal trainer for 14 years. And then a few years ago, created my self-love brand, Unselfishly Me. So Laugh With Me is very fun, very flamboyant, not in like a money way, but just in living life and being authentic and kind of just not caring what people think about you and putting yourself out there. And yeah, I'm very loyal. I'm a Leo. If you know anything about astrology, it's my sun sign, which is what we always look at star signs. My sun sign is Leo and my moon. So I'm a double Leo. So I'm double loyal.
Oh,
And yeah,
Lord.
double Leo. Sorry, everyone. My daughter's a Cancer and my husband's a Sagittarius. I'm like, double Leo, sorry, sit down. So I'm very outspoken, I'm very loyal, I'm very creative. And yeah, my mom would call me bossy, but I know that I'm actually just a natural born leader and it can't be helped. So I'm here to change the world one woman at a time.
I absolutely love that. I'm a Scorpio. I don't know about the moon, so none of that. I just know I'm a Scorpio.
Love that.
So on Selfishly Me, how was that created?
Oh my gosh, funny story. Yeah, I was getting into yoga and into learning about the chakra system. So I was doing a yoga workshop, and it was all about the solar plexus chakra, which I didn't know much about chakras. I kind of heard about it, but I didn't know about it. And that's all about your self-worth, your self-confidence, your seat of power. It's like just above your belly button there. And I just come from learning all about Marissa Peer, whoever, if anyone knows who she is, she created that whole I Am Enough movement. She does like hypnotherapy, and if you just do a little deep dive, you'll find her everywhere if you Google her. But she's incredible. She inspires me, and I was so inspired learning about her. And then I went onto social media, as we do, and I was watching Instagram stories, and a friend of mine, it was her birthday in 3 weeks time, and she was posting about how can I lose 10 kgs in 3 weeks before my birthday. And I was just like, we're not 18 going out to the club where we want to actually look a certain way. So for me, I was like so taken aback. Like, no one cares. Why do you want to lose weight for your birthday? Just buy a bigger size outfit. Like, stop stressing yourself out for 3 weeks as well. Like, unrealistic. So I just wrote back because I was like, Argh! I just wrote back and I was like, love yourself more. And then she wrote back and she said, I can't. And I was like, oh, like it literally was like a dagger to my heart. I was like, oh my God. So I said, okay, let me help you. I'm going to help you. So I sent her like affirmations, and I was sending her videos to watch, and I just kind of curating content for her. And after a few days, she's like, okay, I feel a bit better. Like I actually love this message. I'm learning a lot. So if she could feel slightly better just by me like randomly sending her stuff that I think will help her, I thought, imagine if I could actually curate and create a course that could help people, like, and it was properly done. So that's how it started. I knew that I was going to create this brand. I knew I was going to create a course. And yeah, the name came from, I couldn't think of a name. I had a whole list of names, and I had an appointment with my kinesiologist. I think in the States and in Canada, it's called applied kinesiology, whereas kinesiology is almost like biomechanics and like injuries and things like that, like
Okay.
sports science. So I had an appointment with her. She was still living in Durban. She's in Dublin, Ohio now, actually. And she was still here. And we were testing all these names. And she was like, I was like, no, no, no. And then she said, I think that the name is in one of these little books out here in reception. So she went and got this little book, and it's called When I Loved Myself. I still got a photo on my phone of it and some of the pages. And so she was like, I feel like it's in here, but I was like looking through it. And then she said, it's almost like I want to come to you to train, because I was only doing personal training there. I want to come to you to train, but I feel like I'm taking money away from my family. And like, I want to come to you and do other things, but I feel like I should be spending that time with my family. So then I literally just blurted out unselfishly me. And she was like, yes. And she tested it and it was 96%. So that's like a hell yes, not even a yes. It's a hell yes.
Yeah.
And then our domains here, our URLs are .co.za, because it's South Africa, ZA. And the .com was available. The Instagram was available. The Facebook was available. The hashtag had only been used 3 times. Like, it was just divinely orchestrated. You know, I was
Wow.
like, what? I left her appointment. I had already had an appointment scheduled afterwards at the coffee shop there with my friend who's a graphic designer, and I knew the logo that I wanted and everything. So everything just happened in like 1 week. It was insane. So yeah, I think it was meant to be. It was meant to happen, and it happened in a way, the right way for me, because if she hadn't said that, and I always talk to her and I'm like, I'm so grateful for you, like you created all of this for me, because if she hadn't said something that jarred me to that point, and I think being a personal trainer, you would think that that would be something that I'd be like jumping on trying to help, you know, but I was also like, it's impossible to do that in 3 weeks. Like, there's no ways. And other people probably replied to her with like detox advice and things like that, just normal humans. But I think because I was like, A, it's impossible to do that in 3 weeks. B, it's literally not healthy. Like, I'm not going to let you do that. And C, you are not helping your internal critic and your self-love journey by doing this to yourself and thinking you need to do this to yourself. Like, for what? Why do you need to
And
do that?
sadly, it's so normal for a woman to have unexpected expectations,
Yeah.
uh unrealistic expectations. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That we're like, oh, we have this goal, we're gonna make it, and then we're so hard on ourselves when we don't make it.
Exactly. So that's the thing. I don't even set goals anymore. I set intentions, because the word goals, it just feels so harsh to me. And if you don't get your goal, then you are so hard on yourself, because it's, you know, you've failed. If you set an intention, and I know it sounds very woo-woo, like very yoga, like intentions, and it is, it's softer, but I love that it's softer, because if you set an intention, you're intending to do something, but there's not that pressure like a goal. A goal feels so hard and fast and like a failure attached to it. You either succeed at your goal or you fail. Whereas an intention, you intend to do it. And if you don't reach that intention, well, then you just carry it over. It just feels like a softer landing, and it just feels better. Like, I prefer that word than goals. So I set intentions, and it just allows you that permission that if you don't reach that intention, it's okay, because you intended to do it. You know, it's like the positive, you already planned to do it, the intention is there. It's like, you know, when you say she had good intentions, like, you can never fault someone or have an argument with someone when they had a situation when they had good intentions. You know, every time you hear that, you're like, oh, she had good intentions. You never look at that person and be like, oh, she had good intentions. It's always this positive flow to it. So if you set intentions as if they are goals, and you set those as, I don't do news resolutions. I set my 2022 intentions. Here are my intentions for the year. And things that don't get ticked off, it's okay. If I want to still do them after that and I reassess, I'll add them to next year or next month or whenever it is. But I think we have such unrealistic expectations of our bodies, our minds, our spirits, our work, our families, our friendships, ourselves, especially. And that's the problem, is that we have such unrealistic expectations. And it didn't come from us. We're just conditioned to be like this. You know, years and years and years and centuries of women having to do everything and be everything and look a certain way. And it just doesn't sit well with me. So
Yeah,
yeah.
wow. And it's interesting that you say that, because when I was thinking about goals, I was like very hard on myself and I didn't accomplish anything pretty much. But
Hmm.
this year, one of my words, I don't know, you
I
pick
do as well,
a word.
yes.
Okay, I'll pick a word for the year. Well, I had two. I had peace, and which the fourth day of the year, I had a panic attack. I was like, oh, great start to my peace year. But then the second one is intention, because I have
Ooh.
so many plans in my head, but I get stuck on the goals and then I don't do anything or whatever. So I was like more of intention. And with intention, I got almost 70 episodes on my podcast. Now I have a Spanish one because Spanish is supposed to be my first language, but now it's debatable with all the Google Translate that I'm doing.
I love it.
So I love
Spanglish.
that you're saying that you're making that difference.
Yeah, I love that. And peace is my word for this year. I
Nice.
love that. And then for my business, and last year it was community. So I was like focusing on community. You know how there's so many people, and there's nothing wrong with this, and I used to do it as well, where you do a giveaway with someone and to try and grow your Instagram. And then I was like, I had heard a podcast and they were just talking about you need to serve the community you already have. And I was like, ooh, so you're doing all these giveaways, you're getting all these new people, they're coming, some of them stay, some of them go. But what about the people that have been there from the beginning? Like, shouldn't they be rewarded? So that was my word for last year, was community. So every time someone buys something from my online shop, and especially when they were like an old time client or like a supporter, I would just add an extra little something in there. Like they got like love bombed by me, where I added extra things in there and I just said, thank you for supporting me. And then this year, my word for my business is sentence or like word of mouth. Stop focusing so much on social media and actually ask people to share your stuff, like friends and family, and getting people. And I set that intention. And to be honest, I haven't asked a lot of people, but they have been sharing and it has helped. And I find that my bookings and my retreats and so many things that I do, it is word of mouth. And so that is my focus, especially even for the rest of the year, is word of mouth. And I think setting in a word for the year is so important because it keeps you present and it keeps you coming back to it. So that piece, I've been
Yes.
journaling every morning, almost every morning. Some mornings you can't, but almost every morning. I think maybe I've missed maybe 12 days since mid-January, which
Wow.
I don't think is bad at all. I do a gratitude
No,
journal
not at
every
all.
morning, and I set the boundary that I'm not allowed to look at my phone or social media until I've done that. And let me tell you, you write very fast. It's just, we are drawn to social media and our phones. It's like such a toxic
Oh
addiction.
my God.
But I'll tell you how fast you write it. You're like, this is amazing. And yeah, I get up 10 minutes earlier and I would actually just do it in 10 minutes while my tea, the kettle's boiling. I'm like writing while it's brewing. I'm writing, and it really has given me a lot of peace and just grounded me for the day. Like a lot of people do it at night, which is great as well, but I prefer it in the morning because I've had time to just sit with it and think about things. And you almost have to think on the spot. Whereas at night, it's nice to reflect on the day and see what you've done. But for me in the morning, it's like you kind of like telling your brain to like wake up. What are you grateful for?
I
Quickly.
know.
Yeah.
I am more of a night owl than I am in the
Mhm.
morning. I don't know if
Mhm.
my voice sounds different because I just woke up.
My
But I'm
fault.
the queen of journaling, and I actually carry a book bag
Ooh.
with like so many notebooks and planners that I use as journals too. But yeah, so it's like during the day, if I have something that pops in my head, I'm writing it down. If I'm feeling overwhelmed, it's time to write it down. So yeah, I journal for any reason whatsoever. I don't need an excuse to journal.
Love it.
I love, and it's type of self-care, because especially women, we carry so much in our heads that what do you do if you don't let some of that out and
I
realize,
know.
oh, okay, yeah, I'm overreacting over here. Yeah, that's like a limited belief and
I love
comparing.
that. It's so important. I mean, in lockdown, we're in South Africa here, so it was March 2020 when we went into lockdown, and I couldn't do like workshops in person. I had to obviously take it to Zoom, which was amazing because I never used to like talking on video. And I mean, you looking at me now, you're probably like, she's so comfortable on video. It's only because of that, because I was forced to start talking on video. But I started doing so many workshops that I would just quickly create live workshops on a Sunday. I used to have self-love Sundays, and Journaling 101 was my most requested one. So I'd have like 10 or 20 people on a call, and then in like 2 weeks time, I'd do the same topic, but new people. Journaling 101, because people don't know how to journal, but it allowed me to create my own journal. I've got a guided journal, which is sadly only available in
What?
South Africa. It's only available in South Africa for
Oh.
now. I suppose I've got the digital files. I could actually sell it online actually, but I've made other digital products now as well, like different kinds of journals and little planners for like small business growth, for a blogger planner. I've got like a gratitude one. Everyone was asking me, okay, so what do you write for your gratitude? So it's like, let me just make one for you and you can print it out. So I've started doing all these digital journals because people just don't know. So I've got one hard copy now, but I'm going to try actually get it into the States and Canada because I have a friend living in America and she wants to sell my products on Amazon. So I've got all the digital. So that's where we're going with that, and Europe. So we
Yeah, is
actually
it different? Now I'm interested. Is it different? Because like for us, we're just like, oh, Amazon does everything.
yeah.
So do they not have that available where you can self-publish?
No. No,
Wow.
I know. So yeah, so I've heard that Amazon you can self-publish and they print everything and they send it out. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So that's what my goal is for next year, is to get the product onto Amazon so that I can service the rest of the world basically. And Amazon.co.uk for Europe. But here we don't. You have to physically, there is like a mini version of Amazon. But it's not called Amazon, it's called Takealot. But you have to have your products and you have to send it to them. So they wouldn't self-publish or anything. No, I know. Just be grateful, guys, that you've got Amazon. I just
Yeah.
need to tell you that you get your stuff. I know some people who have the Prime or that you can get it in like 24 hours. No, it's ours like 3 to 5 days, and it's nothing like Amazon. It's like closest we'll ever get, but it's like we look at your Amazon and we're like, oh, that is so nice. I literally go on sometimes. I have a Kindle, so I go and I buy obviously on there. And then I just look at the products. I'm like, wow, it's so nice. It must be so nice to have that.
I know here because it's like a big corporation. Some people want to sabotage and everything else. And I'm like,
Mm.
yeah, go to a different country and you're going to be wishing that you have Amazon because in Puerto Rico, so UPS is the one that is a huge delivery for Amazon, but some products don't get there. So sometimes I have to buy the product and then send it to my family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or like if I'm on vacation and I forget something, I'm like, oh, I can have it next day. Yeah, no, it's like a week in Puerto Rico. So by the time I order it and get it, I'm already back home.
Yeah, you're like, there's no point. I've gone. You have to preempt it and you actually have to order it like 2 weeks before.
Yeah, but that's just crazy. But I love that because like I would like to have my own products, and now because I know this information, I have no excuse. I
Yeah,
should be
you see,
working on my own products. But you
you have
said
to.
my favorite word, retreat. Girl,
Oh,
tell me all
really?
about it.
So when I started the brand, I started with like a crazy person. I created a course in a month, but I curated and created it. So I took like podcasts, videos. I created journal prompts, mantras, and I kind of like used the gurus, like the Oprahs and the Brene Browns. And I'm like, I'm not going to try and say it better than them. Let's just leave that there. So I curated and created that course. And then after that, from there, I started doing retreats. So I do self-love retreats, which I think are very different. And I think that's why people are very attracted to it. I've been doing them since 2019. Um, and a few a year, about 4 a year. And I think what people were attracted to was that it wasn't a yoga retreat. And everyone, all the retreats that you kind of look for, they're generally yoga retreats. There wasn't anything that was like and I call it an anti-retreat almost. It was like not kumbaya, let's all make friends, let's sit and connect and talk like, and I can say this now because I teach yoga now, but like that's what yoga retreats, you kind of like all connect and you talk and you all sit around the fire and you chat. And mine was like, if you want to go and lie in bed all day and read and not talk to anyone, go and do that. If you came here to sleep for the whole weekend to get away from your family, that is fine. You do that. You don't have to take part in anything. I will not feel offended. You do what you need to do. It's all about being unselfish for yourself and actually being selfish for yourself. It's like unselfish to me is all about being selfish, but it's not actually selfish, but taking that time for yourself, doing whatever you need to do. So I created it. I hadn't taught yoga. I was just a personal trainer. So we did like, there's a thing here called Secret Sunrise. And we have the Durban franchise where we have headsets and you do like guided dancing. And so we did like a little mini dance for that. And then the next day, it was my very first one. I did like a yoga stretch. It wasn't like a yoga class, just stretches that I knew. And then we did guided meditations, journaling, self-love talk, picking like affirmation cards. Like it was very chilled and it was quite packed with content. And then the more I did, the more I realized they need more time for themselves. So like I changed the itinerary around. So like now on a Saturday afternoon from 12, we have lunch at 12. So from 1 till 6 p.m, they have alone time. They do whatever they want in that time. They can, depending where the venue, usually in the Midlands, which is like very foresty, and there's like little coffee shops and little, kind of country shops and things like that. So they can go meander and go do what they want. So yeah, it's all about retreating back to themselves. So doing the content, learning about themselves, but also the retreat is whatever it needs to be for you. So you do what you need to do for it. So here's the itinerary. Take part. If you don't want to take part, totally fine. Not going to be offended. You can. My friend came. Was in politics here. She just moved to Australia, but she was high up in politics here, and she came not last December, the December before. And it was last December. She came and she literally was sleeping like most of the time because it was just the busiest time for her. She wanted to do yoga on the Sunday morning, and yeah, we didn't even end up, she didn't come, she just slept. So it's just all about doing what you need to do and honoring yourself in that time. And I think you don't understand how much you need a retreat until you've been on one and how much you enjoy it. You can't, because some partners or families, if you say, I'm just going to go away for the weekend by myself, I just need some peace and quiet and I just want to sleep, they will be like, no. But if you say, I'm going on a women's retreat, suddenly it's okay.
Yeah.
And they're like, go. I'll pay for it for your birthday. That's amazing. But if you said you want to go away for the weekend by yourself, they're like, no, well, no, we must come with. That's selfish if you go. But I mean, you're going on a retreat, it's basically the same thing. It's just that you are in a house with other people, or in cabins or whatever the case is. But it's so important. I actually do it now every 3 months. I take myself away to the Midlands and I go by myself for a full day and a full night. And I come back like mid-morning the next day. So I've got a 3-year-old. She's just turned 3. So I'm like, I need some time for me. Like I'm always a we and I need to be a me. So I'm going to go away for my solo retreat. And it just helps you to reset and to reconnect back to yourself and to feel a me again. And it's so important because otherwise we're forgetting who we are. And it's so easy to get caught up in being someone else, someone's mom, someone's partner, someone's daughter, someone's everything, and you don't get to be just you, and you kind of forget what it's like to just be you. So I always feel like I'm like 25 again and just running around. Oh, this is so nice, driving by myself, listening to podcasts. It's an hour and a half away, so it's quite far to go like by yourself, but I love it. It's so important. And I think only once you've been on a retreat do you actually understand how much you need it and how important it is for you to have the time for yourself, even if it is in a group of women. Like I say to them, this is not a retreat where you have to all be friends and you have to tell each other, I'm going into town, do you want to come with me? You ninja bomb. If you want to go by yourself and go have a coffee and cake by yourself in town and one piece and you don't want to talk to anyone, ninja bomb and go. Like you don't even need to announce you going. Your free time is there, you can go. If you want to have company, because everyone's different, some people like to have company and need to have company, you can then say, I'm going into town, I'm going to go for coffee, does anyone want to come with me? great, but you don't have to do it. And I literally say that on the Friday night to everyone. Like, I give them permission to say no. I give them permission to say yes, and I give them permission to, choose themselves every single time. So they could just stay there. Some people just stay at the lodge, and when we're not doing stuff, they get into bed and they read a book or they have a nap. And that's what's important for them. So I love retreats. They're my favorite thing. And my most treasured possession is I always take, like those little white square notes, like plain
Yeah.
paper, and I get them to write on the Sunday what they learned about themselves and what they've learned on the weekend. And they can either put their name or they can make it anonymous, because sometimes when it's anonymous they kind of like spill more, which I'm happy with that. And I've got a box of these notes, and that's like my most prized possessions, to the point where I know I read them. Sometimes I just go into my room and read them, but I'm actually going to make them into a photo book now, digitize it into a book, get a book printed for myself. After my last retreat is going to be in November now, I'm going to make like a whole book of all of them from 2019, just to like keep everything together, because I'm so scared that I lose the box and then they're gone forever. So I want to digitize them so that I have them, and then I've got like this beautiful little book of memories, because it's just so nice to read what people have actually realized about themselves, and
Yeah.
yeah, just makes it worthwhile.
For me, I started the self-love journey a year ago. I am 34
Wow.
years old.
Wow.
And
You.
through a lot of therapy and mentorship, I've been able to do all of this. And then this year was my first retreat. And it was not, I didn't host it, somebody
No,
else hosted.
but you went and
Oh
you
my
loved it.
gosh. And it was a life-changing experience, because I didn't know like women supported each other that way. It was new to me. I have created a village, a community around me since like 5, 6 years ago. But like, that's still, that's my people. I met them through work or church or whatever the case may be, social media with Facebook
Mhm.
groups. And then I found my mentor, and she had her Majesty retreat, and very laid back. She had her itinerary, but in some of the exercises, while she was helping somebody else through trauma or whatever it was, some of us were in the back just like sleeping, because she had us with pillows and blanket on the floor.
Oh.
I mean, we just grabbed it. Oh, we were cool. She was not offended, because she was working with somebody else. So then the other person felt more comfortable to talk
Mhm.
about it, since we were just taking a nap in the back. It was lovely.
Oh, nice. Where was that? What
We
country?
were into Arizona, another state,
Oh, divine.
and it was the first time that
Like
I saw
desert,
the
eh?
desert. And I did not expect to fall in love with the desert. I had never seen it, and I was just in awe. And I can't wait to go back. She's throwing another one in January. I was like,
Mhm.
girl, take my money.
Yeah.
I'm go- I'm going, because it was such a great experience. I've been talking to my friends to just rent an Airbnb. We don't even have to make it a retreat, just a girls' time. We split the cost, and we just do whatever. I have friends, like yesterday, I went to meet for planner meetup. So we're decorating. I work a lot. I work for the post office, and I work 12 to 14-hour days.
Oh.
So it's really hard to do self-care and whatever. But on Sunday, every other Sunday, I have a planner meetup. So we play with stickers and washi tape, and we decorate the planners and everything.
Oh,
And
I
I'm like,
love that.
you are not messing with my sticker time.
No. You should totally do a weekend, like a girls' retreat, but you plan it yourself. And then, like that, you say one of you does a different activity. So you could do the planning and bring your stickers in your planning. If someone's good at yoga or semi good at yoga or whatever, or doing a guided meditation, like someone leads something on the weekend. So it's like, it's just girls hanging out, but at the same time it's like you each giving part of you and part of your strength to each other. Do you know
I
what I mean?
love that. Yes,
Yeah,
that's a great idea.
it's so fun. Like someone could just do a coloring thing or painting, or whatever it is.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
got
what?
my girls too with diamond painting. I look like you can see it. It's on the side, and it's a diamond painting. So you put little beads on a huge canvas, and you
Wow.
create an amazing pictures. Right now, I have been so tired. Okay, so I'm obsessed with this company, but I have been so tired that I got a free painting, and I still haven't got it off the plastic. I still don't know what the painting looks like. I mean, I know that it's a fairy, but I
Yeah.
haven't opened it and
Open
look
it.
at it because I'm exhausted and so busy. It's not even funny. I'm gonna crash sooner or later. I'm planning
Yeah,
to
you need to
crash.
rest.
But I love that. I love that self-love and finding women their strength so they can
Mm,
share it. Because
yeah.
I have a lot. I just had the conversation yesterday with one of them. She doesn't know what to do with her life. She
Oh.
sees my passion for the podcast and she's like, I wish I had that. I was like,
Mm,
well, there was a lot of trauma work. There was a
mm,
lot of inner child work before I became this person. Like I just didn't become this person out of nowhere. You
yeah.
have to deal with some stuff.
And you have to find your passion. You can't look at other people and try and emulate what they're doing because it might not be what you meant to be. It might not be your journey, but she might be really good at, like, if she starts yoga and then she loves it, and she could be the most incredible yoga teacher. Or, you find these things that you're good at and that you're passionate about, and then you make it your own. So trying to do things, I mean, I see so many things that my friends do, and I'm like, oh, I love that. I wish I could do that. But then I'm also like, I would not be good at that. It's not my, it's not my thing. You have to find, you also get served what is meant for you, I find. Like it's usually a
Hmm.
divinely guided, all these things are divinely guided, whether you believe in God or universe, spirit, angels, spirit, God, whatever you believe in. I just always say the universe because everyone believes in different things. But the universe is always providing for you and sending you these downloads and these thoughts and these ideas. I get so many days, it's ridiculous. I'm like, no, just calm down. That's no, feel into it. If you know about human design, do you know about human design?
Um, Not that
Oh,
something.
you
There you
need to
go.
look
Go
up your,
ahead.
I think you are going to love it. I'm very into human design astrology because I have friends that have studied it and they do readings. So human design is so incredible. You're going to have to just go and research it. I'll send you a podcast to listen to actually.
There you go.
And
Yes.
yeah, we all have different types. So there's a manifester, a generator, manifesting generator, reflector, and a projector. Yes.
Okay.
And they're different energy types. So we all have different strengths and weaknesses. They're not actually weaknesses. It's just, not your strength. There's things that we need to look at. And we have different strategies and we all meant to do different things. Like a projector is like, they're here to guide us. They are brilliant teachers, teaching us, showing us the way. I'm a manifesting generator. So we meant to do lots of different things because we've got the energy to keep going. So we do lots of different things. We're always interested in different businesses and things like that, and can do lots of things at once. So for me with my products, it's so good with my products because if something doesn't light me up, so I have to feel into my gut, and if it feels it's either a hell yes or it's a hell no. So like if I don't feel that, if I don't get lit up inside by the idea or the thought, I know, I'm like, no, that's not right for me. So doing my products is great because I'm lit up by it. I create it, I sell it, and then I move on to the next one. Some of them I keep doing, like the guided journals and things like that are super important, and will always, in my affirmation cards and the kids, I've done kids cards and a kids book and everything. Those I will always be like evergreen products. But some things I'm like, moving on, moving on, and I'm able to do, to live my truth through my energy type because I am moving on and I'm allowing myself to let go of the things that are not lighting me up anymore. Before I knew this, I thought that I was a failure because I was a trainer, but then I also started an online shop selling jewelry and accessories, and then I just kind of didn't light me up anymore, and I was like, ugh, this isn't working, and I felt like a failure because I closed it. Meantime, I closed it and then I opened Unselfishly Be. So it wasn't a failure. It was just not, it was not meant for me anymore. So human design has taught me that it's okay to let go of those things. So it's really important to learn about yourself in those ways. So if anyone goes and looks theirs up, you need your time of place, your birth date, and your time of birth, your birthplace, and your place of birth. But I just recommend that you can find the information, but book a reading with someone who understands, because they can take you through everything. When you just look at the body graph, it's very complicated and you're kind of like, I don't feel like this is me. But when you have a reading and they explain everything to you, you're like, this is so me. This makes so much sense. Yes. So human design, I think you are going to be obsessed with it when you start getting
Yeah,
into
no,
it.
I love that. And I can relate because, yeah, I felt like a failure for like a long time. I think I still do. I don't know. But
We all do.
I can see how I have tried a lot of stuff, especially with network marketing, but I will have like a passion for a product and then just it's not for me anymore.
Yeah.
And I have learned that it's okay to like let go. I don't have to be hard on myself because I'm not being successful in that area or whatever. And I have
Mm.
brought it down to stuff that I like. So now I don't have that self judgment as much because I'm focusing like right now I'm on a mission and I have to bring money. My self-limiting beliefs thinks that only I can bring money through work. So that's
Mm.
why I'm working 12 to 14 hours. My mentor is trying to help me see that money is everywhere.
Yeah. Yes. So
And like
true.
manifesting because she says I'm the queen of manifesting for other people.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like most of us, hey? Unless you actually work for yourself and then you manifesting for yourself. But I mean, that is, you just end up you paying someone else's bond if you renting from them. You doing all the work that's making the company the money. It's, I mean, I suppose it's the nature of the game. Like not everyone can, be working for themselves, and it is really hard not knowing how much money you're going to bring in. But there's nothing stopping you from creating something on the side, but you need to give yourself that time and space. And that would be get the idea, create the products, and then on the side start doing it. But at the same time, if it starts doing well, don't feel scared to cut back on your hours at work, so your day job, so that you can start doing more of your own stuff and pushing more.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. So the first 6 months of the year, I took a break from the Overtime Desire list. So that's how I was able to create the podcast. And the podcast has been a solo podcast for 6 months.
Sure.
And then one day from a girl from United Kingdom, her virtual assistant from the Philippines. So this is like all worldwide to make this thing happen. So her assistant reached out to me and I was like, okay, that's a sign that I should be moving into interviews. And so
Mm.
last month I did 3 or 4 interviews. This month, you're my second one that I have recorded already. And I have 3 other ones that are scheduled. So I want to
Amazing.
make it where the podcast is pretty much covered for a few weeks or even a few months with interviews. And I can
Mm.
focus on something else, always working with something
Yeah.
behind the scenes.
Yeah, it really does help. And I found that as well. Like when I'm scrambling, I did give myself permission though to not have to do weekly. Because when I started out, I did twice a month. And then during COVID, I was like, oh, everyone's listening. Let me do more. And I did like every week. And then now I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try to do twice a week, twice a month again and see how it goes. And then sometimes like I think last month I did 3. So I'm kind of like just letting myself, like if I do 3, it's a bonus episode. But if I do like 2 a month, it also, or 3, it gives me that like leeway to do some mini short ones by myself, like just like little 10-minute ones or 5-minute ones. And I'm doing meditations and things like that, but also just allowing yourself some breathing room as well. It's hard to reel yourself in when you get excited though. I'm sure you're the same, but
Oh,
but it's
yeah.
also self-care. We have to like have that self-care where we're like not pushing ourselves so much. And it'll be a Wednesday and I'm like, oh, it comes out tomorrow, I haven't even scheduled it. And then the other day I was like, you know what, I'm not going to have an episode tomorrow. I'm too stressed out to actually try and sit and do this now with a child climbing on me and I was like, having a break tomorrow.
That
And then
my,
I just did it the
I
next
think
week.
it was 2 weeks ago. I woke up on Wednesday and I was like, I'm my number one fan. So I look for my own podcast. I guess a little bit
Hello.
narcissistic.
No, you should be your number one fan. Your mind only believes what you think, just so you know. Your mind only
Yeah.
believes what you say. So if you are telling yourself that you are amazing and that you have an amazing podcast and that you are looking for your podcast, you're telling your mind that you think you're the shit and that it is amazing. And then you're going to believe it. And you're going to attract people to you and to that podcast because you're spreading that love and that shine out there, girl. So keep doing that.
Thank you. I'm here dying. Because it is, girl. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love my podcast. I look forward to listening to it. I'm like, oh heck yeah, that was a good episode. But I woke up this Wednesday and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have a new episode. I was so sad. I was like, girl, get your life together. But I had worked 8 days in a row. So
Oof.
when Wednesday came, I didn't even know that it was Wednesday, and I was dealing with mental health evaluation because I do talk a lot about mental health. And so I was giving myself some grace because I was anxious of being all of that. And then on past Francie would have been so self judgmental, critic. Oh my gosh, look at you. You should even give up. Why are you even trying? Look at you. You're a failure and everything. And it's like, it was just one Wednesday. Calm down. Your podcast will be back on Monday, or you can throw a bonus episode, or like I call them, late episodes.
Yeah. And also, people are busy. So that's what I realized. People are so busy that the chances of them being so caught up on the episodes that they're literally sitting there waiting for the episode. I'm like, I don't think I'm there yet. So you know what? That's okay. They'll find something else to listen to for this week. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, I will have them catch, since I have almost 70 episodes. I say it out loud and I can't believe it. But then in Spanish, I got 5. I started the English one and I had 12 episodes on the first month. I started the Spanish one a month ago. I have 5 episodes.
I mean, that's still good. 5 is still good.
It's amazing. It's still amazing, but that one seems like work. Like I do all the behind the scenes. Everybody, all of my listeners know that I say it all the time. It's me, myself, and I. So I'm the podcast manager, the content creator, the one that hits record. I don't do editing. So it's like, Jesus, take the wheel. But my solo podcasts are 15 minutes or less. My interviews are running average of 30 minutes. But then I find a great personality like you, and we definitely gonna go for the hour.
We're at 44 now. Wow.
Yeah, I love it.
Hope you guys aren't sick of our voices by now. Sorry.
From what I heard from the MVP, so that's one of my coworkers, and he has heard every single episode, and it means the world to me because my audience is mostly females. But he said it that the interview sounds a lot better, and I was like, yay, because I get I'm an ambivert, so I can be an introvert or an extrovert. I'm more extrovert, so I get the energy from being around people, but I can be on my own too, and that's okay.
I want to know what your human design is. It'd be so interesting, because projectors, my husband's a projector, and so it's one of my best friends, and they get their energy from manifesting generators. Like, we light you up. So we're gonna have to talk afterwards. You're gonna have to
you send me the link and I'll do a quiz or whatever it is, and I send it to you.
So interested to see.
I love it. We're definitely gonna stay in contact after this, girl.
No, we are.
So anything that you want to plug in, your social media, website, what's happening?
So I will say this, because most people, everyone I've been speaking to in the States and Canada, have been saying that I started doing my yoga teacher training last year. I was very resistant to yoga. It was divinely sprung on me. I mean, it was the most bizarre thing. I didn't want to teach yoga. I didn't want anything. I wasn't even regularly practicing. But this bee in my bonnet about doing my yoga teacher training last year. And it was, the message I kept getting was, you can't do this other business, because we couldn't do events and stuff with more than 20 people. So it wasn't worth it for us to even have an event. So my whole message I kept getting was, you're never going to be this free from other work. Like, this is going to be the quietest time in your life, so you can actually do your course. So I was like, okay, trusting. Within a week, I decided, and I'd found someone and signed up. It was just unbelievable how fast it happened. And I decided I was only going to do beginner yoga. I'm not teaching intermediate. I'm not doing a vinyasa flow class, nothing. I'm teaching beginner yoga. And that's what I did. And I started teaching. And this year I started teaching in person, and I recorded a beginner yoga challenge. So what I found with everyone I'm speaking to is that they have also never really seen people doing this. I don't know anyone in my city here who actually teaches beginner yoga, like, and markets it as beginner yoga. I literally teach you how to stand on the mat. This is how you do tree. This is how you do downward dog. You go to these classes where you are forced to just follow everyone around you. You get told what to do by the teacher, but you aren't actually corrected, and you aren't taught how to do that pose. You just kind of have to look around and move into that pose and hope that you're doing it right. And you can't stop them because it's a flow class. So you can't even be like, am I doing this right? So I created an online version as well, because a lot of my friends live overseas, and they're like, well, we want to do it too. So I recorded an online version. So it's like a Let's Start Yoga 4-week program. And I've just found that so many people are craving to learn how to actually do yoga, because they don't realize how beneficial it is. I always say it gets you out of your head and into your body so fast, compared to trying to exercise and trying to run or walk or trying to go to CrossFit or whatever it is. Yoga is the one thing that gets you out of your head and into your body. And the only way to know yourself and love yourself and to even ask yourself how you're feeling is to get out of your head, because we live in our heads every day. You need to live in your heart. And the only way you're going to get from your head to your heart is actually to be in your body. And the only way you do that is when you're present, when you're feeling yourself moving through like a flow or a pose or whatever the case is. So I find that when I'm too in my head and I'm not feeling grounded and I'm like all over the place, as soon as I do like some yoga poses, I get back into my body, and then I'm like, how do I feel? Okay, I feel like this. Why do I feel like that? I feel like this because what am I going to do about it? This is what I'm going to do. And it's the only way that I find that I can actually get out of my head and into my body is through yoga. And I think that yoga has been made to be this inaccessible thing. It's not accessible for everyone, because you think that it is. And I'm a white girl, I can say this, a skinny white girl going with her latte to her yoga class in Lululemons and like, I mean, I'm not wrong. So, that's the perception, is that that's what it is. Yoga is for everybody. Like, you don't have to be skinny to go to yoga. You don't have to look like you've been doing yoga for 10 years. We have a domestic worker who is, I don't even know what size to even tell you what size, but she is like very overweight for, what she could be. And there's nothing wrong with that. That girl has come to yoga on Wednesday morning. She gets here at 5:45 in the morning. She only has to start work at 8, but now she starts from 7 because she comes early. She comes and does yoga every Wednesday morning, and she is so good. She's like improving so much. And if you looked at her, you'd be like, there's no way she does yoga, because we have this preconceived idea. So I'm trying to change everyone's idea about yoga and say it's not scary. You can learn how to do it, give you the confidence to do it at home by yourself, and then go to a class knowing how to do it. And my friends who are yoga teachers and just do the flow classes, they say to me, I don't know how you do it and only teach beginner and only teach the poses. I could never do that. And I'm like, I don't want to do what you do. I want to teach the basics, because being a personal trainer, I've literally had to teach people how to squat and how to lunge, which are the hardest things to actually teach. But for me, it's easy because I love teaching that, and you have to know how to do that properly. Otherwise, you're going to injure yourself. So for me, breaking down the poses and saying them in a way that is almost like teaching how to squat, teaching how to lunge, it just comes so natural to me that I love teaching it. So I think I'm trying to spread the message as well, is that yoga is really good for you. It can help you in a self-love journey. It can help you love your body a lot more than you do right now. But if you're feeling intimidated to go to a class, if you're feeling like you don't belong, if you're feeling like you have to lose weight before you come, which is what someone actually said to me to my class, I'm like, no, you don't need to lose weight to do that. That's not the point of this. Is to try it, but try it in a safe space. Go to a beginner class if you have it in your area. Speak to me if you need to. I can give you a discount code for my online program. But don't not do something because you're intimidated because of, the perception of what it is. Do it for yourself, but find a way to do it in a safe and a comfortable way, because we always do this. We're like, no, I'd really love to do that, but I'm too scared, I'm too nervous. What if people tease me? What if they say things about my body? What if they say I'm not good enough? What am I not good enough at this? What am I bad at that? But the thing is that we only stopping ourselves from our own greatness by doing that. And the only person who doesn't benefit is you, not the people you think are going to talk about you. So I'm trying to push the narrative that yoga is actually really good for you, and you are able to connect with your body in a way that you cannot do any other way. I don't think that there's any other exercise on the planet that can get you out of your head and into your body, to connect with your body, to start loving your body and speaking to yourself kindly like yoga does. So I'm a yoga convert after 14 years of everything else. So yeah, I just want to leave you with that if you really want to love yourself and connect with yourself, mind, body, and spirit, trying yoga, but doing it in a safe place and a safe space where you feel comfortable as well.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I will have your website and everything else on the description of the episode.
Awesome.
And it's probably going to be on Wednesday. So happy Wednesday. Oh my God. So yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank
you. The
you.
time was wonderful.
Yeah, it was so nice to connect with you, and thank you for asking me.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for listening to another episode. Hope you enjoyed this interview as much as I did. The links will be in the description of the episode, and hope everybody have a blessed day.